So could you walk us through any second guessing or regrets that you may have about the play in which Trevor got hurt?
No, I mean, it was a 4-minute situation. We had a call on third down where we felt like we could potentially get the quarterback the edge. Never envisioned quarterback getting tackled in that situation. So, I guess looking at hindsight 2020, wish it would have come down to a situation where we did not get tackled. But no, that's a call we carry in the 4-minute situations right there. To again extend a drive, get the first down, get the quarterback on the edge if it's clean. If it's not clean, we go down, we lose 5-6 yards, and we continue to milk the clock.
Are you guys hesitant at all to play Trevor, given it's going to be on turf? It's not really good for joints, knees, things of that nature.
That's where you just kind of trust your training staff. So as long as Trevor's in a position where he can't injure himself, or as long as he gives us the best chance to win the game, and without risking himself or whatever that may be, then that's what we continue to do. And again, that's just conversation with everybody involved in the process.
And what's the confidence level in CJ, what he's been able to do since he's been here, since you guys have been here?
The confidence is very high that we can go out and run our offense and he can function at a high level. He's got experience in this league. He's got experience now in our system. The guys around him trust him. We know we could go out and function in a solid way with the possibility to win the game if that was what we needed to do.
Significant changes in the game plan if it's CJ versus Trevor, or can they pretty much run a lot of the same stuff?
They can run a lot of the same stuff, we feel like. And again, it's like any game. You tailor your approach to what defense you're seeing and how they play and what puts everybody, not just the quarterback, in the best possible position to have success.
Are you having to come up with two different game sheets, one if it's Trevor, one if it's
No, not
CJ?
really. There may be some things that you feature more so if it's one quarterback versus the other, but no, we don't feel like it really affects our offense much.
How do you guys get prepared for the environment, the noise? How can you kind of prep yourselves for that, especially on a short week?
Yeah, that's definitely a real thing. We always work on our silent cadence when we're going on the road. We've made a point to our guys that this is a very hostile place, playing on a primetime, nighttime game there on the road. They'll be fired up. We know it'll be loud. The way you play the game, trying to take the crowd out of it, but then not being affected by the noise. We got to be great with our nonverbal communication as well as our verbal communication. There are times we have to talk to one another in the huddle, getting out of the huddle at the line of scrimmage. There is communication that you just got to do a great job being dialed in on.
Do you and the rest of the staff take into consideration the surface you're playing on to determine if Trevor could go or not? Or no?
Just asked that.
Yeah.
Oh, I just missed it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Again, to reemphasize it, everybody comes together on the process to determine what it looks like for everybody. Yeah, all good.
Given Travis Etienne this level of carries, can he sustain this level of carries throughout 17 games?
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't shown us he can't at this point in time. Obviously, we like to spread the wealth. We like to continue with the hot hand, whatever that may be, pass game, run game. He's been a guy that is obviously a game breaker for us. And he's been able to come through in those situations when we continue to give him the football, and he has opportunities, he finds opportunities, he creates his own opportunities at times. We want to continue to give the ball to our best players at all times.
How tough is it on the O-line when it feels like injuries keep popping up, so you keep having to shuffle guys?
Yeah, I think it is hard. I mean, you want to know the guy you're playing next to. You want to have work next to that guy. And, again, like I've always said, we do a good job of exposing them to that through spring. I think their meeting room is a huge part of that. They're all in communication, constant communication. It's an interesting place to be, an offensive line room, but those guys do a great job of creating that environment to where I think they do build a trust factor. There's some chemistry involved with those guys, and they trust the guy next to them that they'll do their job at the highest level.
And how valuable was Blake Hansman for you? 2 weeks ago, he was that left tackle.
Yeah.
Last week, he was that guard, that versatility.
Yeah, I feel like, coming in here and talking to you guys, there's always been some guy. How do you trust this guy to do this and all that? And whether it be Walker Little, Blake Hance, Tyler Shatley, like these guys are invaluable for us. They're guys that their teammates trust. We as coaches trust them, but more importantly, the guys on the field trust the guy next to them to do their job.
What's your take on the state of the running game, particularly the run blocking with the offensive line? I mean, had the great touchdown on the Wildcat, but other than that, it seemed like the running game couldn't get into any kind of rhythm the other day.
Yeah, I felt like we got a little stagnant at times through that game. Now we did a good job. We scored 3 of the first 5 possessions. We had the ball. It really started with the first play of the drive. If we couldn't get the first play of the drive going, we were sledding uphill, and that was tough. And there were a couple different things. We tried some different things with perimeter runs that we maybe didn't block the right way on a couple of them, or just they had a better call than us at times. And, it's a matter of what that looks like. But I think each run is kind of its own case-by-case basis that we continue to study. And what are we really good at? What are we really good at against the schemes that they play? Where are we winning matchups? Where are we losing matchups? We continue to evaluate all of that.
Does Thursday night game make like prep more difficult?
It's fast. I mean, we have a whole game plan in less than 48 hours from when we just finished the last game. So things happen very quickly. You kind of fall back on, having a unit that's been together for a while for the most part. So you got some plays in your inventory that you've got banked reps on that you can lean into a little bit. Just trying to identify things that we do really well, that we have a lot of confidence in without getting a physical rep these 2 days of practice essentially right here.
What does New Orleans defense do well? What's their strength?
They're kind of like Buffalo in that they've all been together for a long time. Coach Allen's been there 9 years. It feels like DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore have been there the whole time. So that's one guy at each level. You watch DeMario Davis, I think it was like the 8th play of the game against Houston. Houston has a check, clear and obvious, quarterback makes a check. He talks to safeties, flips the whole coverage. Those guys just have the playbook at their fingertips, and they can get it communicated really quickly, so they can always keep themselves in the right look, or they can change the look they presented to you because he's basically calling plays out there on the fly. Cam Jordan's been a game wrecker for a long time. I feel like those 3 guys, don't get the credit they deserve across the league. Cam Jordan's been a major problem for a long time. DeMario Davis is as good as any interior linebacker in the league, and Marshawn Lattimore is as tough a cover as anybody out there. So, they got really good players, experience in the system, playing at their place in a hostile environment. It's a tough place to go in there and play. I think they've done a good job of keeping people out of the end zone there. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thanks,
Talk a little bit about the challenge this week of trying to mix and match cornerbacks with the situation with Tyson. You know, you might have one guy playing both cornerback and safety. You got like about 2 or 3 different options about how you can go there.
Well, we got a bunch of guys that have gotten a bunch of reps that have been, working hard and ready to plug them in and see what they do.
Buster, the next man up.
Yeah, Buster be the next guy up.
What gives you confidence in him?
Just what he's done through training camp and out there practice every day. He's a guy that works hard, and we're confident with him going out there, and he'll be ready to go.
How much easier is it when you can do something like that rather than like moving Trey outside and shifting a bunch of pieces?
Really, if you move too many people around, you're moving too many people around. If you can just put one guy in, and that's what they're here for. We saw what he did in offseason and what he did in training camp, and he deserves to be here. He gets the opportunity to go out there and play.
Doug said yesterday even Tavon Campbell or Eric Hallett might get called up, or are guys in the building already that could kind of help you with Tyson. How much confidence do you have in those guys on the practice squad?
Those are guys, that's the reason they're here. They showed an ability, and the numbers didn't work out for them to be on a 53, but now we can call guys up, and they'll go out there and be able to help us out.
How did you feel Buster did in Sunday's game? I know he was kind of just thrown in there, but how did you feel like he played?
I thought he did good. He tackled well. He was in coverage, and again, communication is something that it's not just him; it's everybody. We have to get better at, and that's just one of the areas where we'll get the calls to him and let him understand the technique he's playing. And he did a decent job.
Does it make it more challenging since it's a short week to sort of build that organic chemistry between the corners and the safeties, and specifically Buster?
It's really not. I think I said it a couple of weeks ago. We were in London for 10 days, and we got to gel together, and we're talking all the time. And then you go out on the field, should be the same way. You're a safety or a linebacker. You ought to be out there talking just like you talk in the locker room or, riding a bus somewhere.
You guys are leading the NFL in takeaways. How much of that is a function of, being in the second year with your system and just the improved communication level? Because that seems to be a pretty big factor in getting turnovers.
I think it really just comes down to taking advantage of your opportunity. We've been able to touch the ball, and the guys are coming down with it. Josh had a strip sack. We're able to get a couple of fumbles. So it's just being able to, take advantage of opportunities. We always talk about the numbers favor us. So if we get more guys around the ball, we have an opportunity to take the ball away. So that's what we try to do, and we're doing a decent job right now.
That's the challenge of defending Kamara, where they line him up all over the formation.
He's a guy that can run it, and he's really good out of the backfield, and he's a guy that they feed the ball to. So that's really the challenge. He's going to get many opportunities. We just have to be around him, get a bunch of guys around him, and try to slow him down.
There was a play on Sunday where Rayshawn thought he had a pick, it got negated, and you're like waving him back as he's jumped into the stands, and then he comes back and gets a pick for real, and he goes right back into the stands. Could you just talk about him and how much energy he brings to the team?
That's the thing. It's the energy he plays with. He's a guy that is passionate about his play, and you can see it on the field. He's a guy that if you're walking down the street at night, you want him with you because he's going to fight with you. And he goes out there every week, and he's a tone setter for us. He's a guy that brings a bunch of energy, and I saw the flag, so I knew he wasn't going to count. But I was trying to get him back so we can get the next call in. But, it's great to see his hard work pay off, get an opportunity to have one and then get another one later on. It was good to see.
How impressed were you by what Smoot was able to do coming back from injury? Like 32 snaps, was in there, pretty active.
I think that was big, just to get back coming off the injury and just getting. It was great to see him go back out there and play, and it'll just continue to get better. The first day you're out there, you're going as hard as you can. Then you start to feel, now hey, I'm back, and he'll go out there and he did some good things in the pass rush, and he'll continue to do it.
What sort of threats do the Saints have in the passing game?
They have speed and they have size, so that's always a challenge. And then they have multiple guys that can stretch the field, multiple guys that can go up and contest for balls. So that's a big challenge. Then you have a quarterback that's throwing the ball anywhere he wants to. So that the passing game is going to be a tough task for us.
You were with Tampa. You played the Saints a couple of times already in your career. Just how tough is it to play in that building?
Yeah, it's tough to play down there, but the other thing about it, I told the guys, it's exciting. The atmosphere is unbelievable. So when you go down there, you're going to be up for the game because they're going to make you get up for the game. The fans and, all the costumes they have on, it's a great atmosphere to be in. It's Thursday night. We're the only show on. So, they should be excited, ready to go.
What's your feeling on why Darius Williams playing at such a high level, both in the passes he's breaking up and the interceptions he's getting?
I think just the hard work. Came in last year, had the shoulder a little bit, then was playing inside, then we moved him outside, and I think he's comfortable in the system, comfortable what we're asking him to do, and he's showing that he has good hands, former basketball player, good eye coordination. So he's a guy that if the ball's around him, he's going to be able to make a play on it.
Does the short week make getting the defensive game plan together difficult?
It does because, coaches and players are always on a schedule and a routine, and routine's jacked up. I came over right after the game on Sunday trying to get as much information as I could, but we understand that it's a Thursday night and it's a great opportunity for our team to go down there and play, so we'll be ready. We're just going to have to, speed everything up, but, get the details to the players, let them understand what they're supposed to do and what we want to do, and we'll go down there and, let it go.
What did you think about getting Devin back last week?
I thought he gave us a jolt. He was out there, he was flying around, and Devin's a guy that he's long, he's instinctive, and he makes plays on the ball. Now, he had the cast on his hand, so he's unable to catch two of them, but it was good to see him back, and I thought he brought a lot of energy, and, it's good to see him flying around.
You cut him some slack because of the cast, or you still?
Well, since the other guys caught him, we have this competition between inside linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, and outside linebackers, and typically inside guys are catching the ball the best, but with that cast on, it's going to be tough.
Could I just ask you about Antonio Johnson? Do you foresee him getting more snaps as the season moves on? And I don't know how much Tyson's situation might affect that, depending on where you want to play him. But is he a guy that you could foresee getting on the field a little bit more often?
Really, I think AJ got a chance to play last week and the week before. It's just his skill set is something that we can use, and we're just finding ways to get him out there. You saw him go in a few times on third down, and his package will just increase by, just whatever opportunity we want to give him. And he's a player that he's ready for it. He has a great skill set to do what we need him to do, and, it'll continue to evolve.